Welcome back, folks, to Sports Talk with Alex and Felix. And as we said, the NFL has finished out its regular season. Week 18 is over, and now we're on to the draft. And, our last video, we talked about potential possible head coaches losing their job. And so we're going to touch on all these things today. And so we'll start with coaching first before we get into our picks. And you have several teams that need head coaches. And Alex is going to give us what he thinks, opinion-wise, for each team or division, that the team that needs a head coach, who will be a good fit for that organization. And so we're going to start first with the Chicago Bears in the NFC North. Obviously, as you know, they let their coach go mid-season, and offense and defensive coordinator. But who do you think around the league, if you're taking somebody from an offense defensive coordinator situation, or just potential head coach possibility for Chicago, for their young quarterback? The team has talent there. They were able to compete. They just wasn't able to close out their game. So who do you think would be a good fit?
Well, I'm going to give it a bit. The defense coordinator for Kansas City. I believe he's a good fit for that team. Could help build the defense up. The offense is good. Not a defense. So right now, if I can build, I will pick up the defense coordinator for Kansas City.
Okay. I think that would be a good pick, and I agree with you. I think the offense has the tools and things that it needs. Defensively, being able to get a stop, allowing for your team to close out and get victories. So I think he would be a perfect fit there as a head coach in that division, particularly considering how hot the Lions are, how hot Minnesota is going right now, and the Packers are actually doing well. So, excuse me. As we can see, I think that would be an excellent pick. So we're going to move a little bit east now to the AFC East, where there's two teams there that need head coaches, and that would be the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. So let's start with the Jets first. The Jets organization is kind of a mess. They have not been a consistent franchise pretty much consistently since the team has been in existence. They have one Super Bowl trophy, which is very suspect to a lot of teams because it was the early years of the NFL. But if you wanted to see this team be a team that would have a solid foundation to be a competitive team year in, year out for the next, let's say, 5 seasons or 6 seasons, who do you think might be a good fit for their organization to get it fixed right?
Well, I believe I believe could be coming back for yeah. Right now, there are top opportunities for the Jets to have an agreement also. Right now, we got ready already.
Now, you mentioned earlier to me that maybe from your team, the Eagles, one of your coordinators would be a perfect fit for the Jets. Why Rex Ryan? He seems real comfortable being on the network, doing the podcast and the TV. He doesn't seem like he's very interested in coming back to coach. Why him versus somebody from your organization in which your team has built a solid foundation, a football program? You guys compete year in and year out. You guys show potential of going back to the Super Bowl every year. So why not one of your coordinators versus a guy that's been out of the coaching game for a while?
It's gonna be back. It's gonna be with Jimmy Hart on how that team put around so quickly. He is a first-time head coach for that team. Listen, I believe whoever is the right the Florida have high opportunity to build this shit and let it go to the better quarterback and without the quarterback is that room. The year and I go with that team is gonna be.
Yes, well, I agree. Like we know that the Jets is a mess, and I agree. Rex Ryan, when he did come near as a first-time head coach, he basically didn't have a all-star offense. He's a defensive coordinator who became head coach. His defense kept him competing against some of the great quarterbacks that were in the league at the time in their era, and they've made it several times into the playoffs underneath his watch. But why not one of your guys from your franchise who you were telling me you thought would be promising to the Jets? You thought that they would be able to turn that franchise around and make it a competitive team in that division?
Well, I guess whoever is yeah, for the upcoming year, gotta build around for the future quarterback. And what was happening, that is, they're gonna be having a tough year.
Yes, well, that's expected. It's just honestly expected because it's a mess over there. Look, the best thing that the Jets have going for themselves, they have a good receiving core, right? We got to see a phenomenal plays by these young men, and then defensively they're not that bad, but at the helm, they need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers was only a temporary fix, a band-aid. The Jets have never really had, other than Joe Namath, a quarterback that they drafted that's literally been there repeatedly and played 15 seasons or 12 seasons with that organization and will go down in Jets history as their all-time great. They just don't have that. And so, and haven't made attempt to get that. Even though they've had several first-round picks, Geno Smith, Donald, right? We can just go down a whole list of quarterbacks that they let loose in the NFL that have showed progress with the right coaches and the people around them, but they have not made the time and the effort to actually
right now
somebody.
we got the club opportunity for the what that will be going to football team and got to build around and what
well, we still haven't heard yet from him of what his intentions are now that the season's over for him.
He's not gonna be the guy forever. He got hurt that year on one play. The year, okay, he make the fruit this year. Cause it ever move on to another team. You just can't start a comment moving up the air or previously or you have that team is gonna be a repeat
of
a
disappointing season.
Yeah.
So does that, because of those circumstances, do you think that keeps the Jets from finding an actually really good head coach? Because if you're a head coach and you or think you're a potential head coach and you're looking to become a head coach, would you want to step into this kind of a mess knowing that you have an uphill battle to fix, or you think you may pass on it and go to another organization that has not such a mess on their hands?
Well, for me, it's all about money. If the money is correct, I will take the job. But if the money not there, you just have problem with quarterback, Yeah, I wait a part ever. Whoever
Well,
over.
isn't that an ongoing thing though in the NFL? Look, I'm just gonna say a couple of things here about some organizations because it's been consistent throughout their history, and the Jets is one of those franchises that have been consistently not a good franchise, regardless of owners. And he mentions money. If the money's right, and I think that can't be the number one equation. I think for a franchise. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I get it. It's a sport. It's a game, but it's also a business. And if I'm a business, I'm not just going to hire any old CEO to come in my business and only give me a temporary fix to get me temporary results. I want long-term results. I want to be successful. I want to be the best of the best. And I want a guy that's going to come in and build something. And I think when these organizations are interviewing for coaches and GMs, they need to come with a business plan, not just what they think they can bring to the table with the rosters that they have. I think this is what's wrong in the NFL. You have college universities that have football programs there, and when those kids come there, they fit into that program, right? And those programs are successful because those universities compete year in and year out consistently. Some win championships, some make it to the championships and don't win. But it's a consistent program. And that program means something. And when Belichick was with the Patriots, it was a program there. And everybody that came there, wherever they went and played for other coaches, when they knew they got to New England, they had to conform to what New England brought to the table. It wasn't the other way around. And so Belichick is no longer in the league. He's now going to be a college head coach. But another franchise that has always been this way is also the New York Giants. There's only been several times throughout their franchise history they've had good coaches that actually built some things there, but it was temporary. And I was talking to one of the big football fans of the New York Giants, which is my big brother, Chef Rod, right? And you know something? I don't recall the Giants ever being that number one seed, that number one team, not only in their division, but in the league. That has never happened for them. We know that, look, they get some of the hardest schedules year in and year out, whether they're the best team or worst team. The New York Giants constantly, consistently, always get one of the toughest schedules, more so than most teams. But we don't see a program there for them where it's consistent. We see teams, they come in, if we go back to the Peyton Manning days, Peyton came there, he was just one player. They built a team around him, and he dominated his division for every year that he was in the league. Every year. The Indianapolis Colts had a banner for being a division title winner every year. Yeah, they got to the playoffs and he got eliminated, but they were a contender every year. Obviously, the New England Patriots with Tom Brady, consistent every year. If we go back a little further, we look at the San Francisco 49ers and we look at Joe Montana, consistent every year, right? So Aaron Rodgers with the Packers, consistent every year. So we've never seen these things, and that comes down to what are you bringing to the table to give me longevity? And the Jets have always looked for temporary solutions. Now, I know he's not aware because he's very young, but I'm a football fan first. And that I've never seen that in my lifetime, and only once, and that was with Rex Ryan, that he built something there in the 3.5 seasons he was with them and took them to the playoffs consistently. They were contenders. They drafted well. They had a good organization, plan, strategy when it came to the draft. They were trying to build something because they were competing with another franchise, which was the New England Patriots, by the way, who also needs a head coach. And you're going to tell us who's going to be a great fit there. Yeah. But they had a football program, and he gave Belichick a run for his money every single season. So we're going to move on from the Jets, and now you're going to tell us about the Patriots. We're going to stay in the AFC East right here. So,
well, the Patriots, I knew the company though, and we talking about that on Sunday. So, that game is big. It's a big news that
Right.
game. I caught it. I caught this team before we return. I told you that every time that head coach would be gone, they got I can't go on the too bad to let it go. But
Yeah, after one season.
after 1 year, go on the I want to play confident. Go on the whole the meet that he feel bad and the head coach would be a good head coach at well. But for me, I look to put it could be Mike McCarthy. I believe Mike McCarthy if the contract if the contract is not the right contract for the Cowboys, I believe he would land over in the
I think he would be a great
Patriots.
fit for the New England Patriots. I think he wouldn't clash with the ownership there. There's a good base there, which means when these guys go into the draft, the war room there, I believe he would be a perfect fit. And believe it or not, and I hate to say this, Jerry, I believe that he would get a better contract with the Patriots. I hate to say it. I believe he would have a better opportunity there. He has a young quarterback that is good. There's components there already, and I think he would not just be a quick fix for the Patriots, but I think he could build longevity considering the previous coach that was there, not the just most recent one that they let go, they didn't give a real opportunity to, but Belichick, he had built something there all the seasons he was there with Tom Brady, and I think McCartney could do that because he had a similar situation when he was with the Packers, and I think that would be a perfect fit for him. He's not going to he's not going to cause any rough waters, because he doesn't do that now at the Cowboys organization. I think he would be very content if he was with the Patriots, and if I was you, McCartney, I would go and do an interview over there as if the Patriots are willing to have you.
Okay.
I'll say, okay, so we're done with the AFC East. Now we're going to move down to the NFC South with the Saints. They need a quarterback there.
And a head coach.
And a head coach.
These are like, they're hungry there forever. Then, but I believe it's gonna be it go off the court. I believe he will probably go to the day, and the Eagle will be again another year with a new off the court. Is that it? We've got both offense and defense over the head coach that year.
Right.
But I believe he will probably go to the A at the Eagle will again.
Okay.
For an offer.
I think he would be a good pick there, and then they would then have to resolve a quarterback issue there because they need something similar. He would probably look for somebody that's similar to Jalen Hurts' size and his abilities, and then try to build around that.
Because their coach will be not there forever.
Right.
He get up there.
Okay, and now we're gonna move on to the AFC South,
It's
which is
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Oh boy. I love the people. The Super Bowl.
Obviously, he got your team their first Super Bowl victory. So
But-
yes.
That he 3 or 4 wins this year. What happened? 2 years ago, he was in the playoff. That year, they football. Okay, this year, that back, I hoping for better because this is his. He got 3 years, definitely 3 years. This year, no, maybe 8 this year in the league.
As a head coach.
I had coach, not a coach. We talk about up there, the head coach. I up there to see his goal, but I coach this back in week 8 of the season. Every month that the degree from the to be gone.
Right. True. Yeah, you kept fearing that he was going to get the axe. The ownership waited to the end of the season. He didn't do to his team what some other teams have done.
But if at back now, he got a Super Bowl, he got everything.
They want him to take time off. But we need to pick a head coach, though, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you need to tell us who you think would be a good fit for them.
Okay. This is gonna be a little bit harsh. Not open. Open quarter. With Doug, I got with Doug Moreau, with open, that I believe this one will be Ben Johnson. Ben, he is a good coach. I want him. He's a coach. I believe. The right quarterback, this team will be about that out of the year. How it is.
Okay. And, okay. So now we're going to head out west to the AFC West, where the Oakland Raiders have not necessarily been a consistent organization as well. I was teaching him a little bit last night about Raiders history, with Al Davis, and the Raiders were very similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers with having coaches and not just having coaches on a carousel. But then ever since Al Davis passed away and the organization has been on this path, they've had many head coaches consistently, sometimes just one season and done and out. And this team has not really had a chance to grow and be a competitive organization, not only in their division, but around the league. And it's sad because of the rich history with the Raiders. They had Gruden, and when he was, obviously Davis was alive then, I explained to him, Gruden was consistent. Took the Raiders to the Super Bowl, lost one, decided to leave, went to the Bucks, took them to the Super Bowl, won one, right? And then had a chance to go back. And then when he did go back to the Raiders, who they're still paying, by the way, had a 10-year contract with, decided to part ways with him due to, I guess, ethics there, which is, I guess, for every company and every business, there's standards you have to be, and they let him go, but have not really made the fresh repairs. Now, Bank, I thought, brought Pierce brought something to the organization that was needed, but they part ways with him, and they got a young quarterback there, but they have a chance to possibly get another quarterback in this draft. And right now they need a head coach. So who do you think would be a good fit back at this organization? and get them to be competitive in a division where you have literally legends coaching in that division. You got Andy Reid,
You got Rob Pittman,
right, and
Yeah.
you have Harbaugh,
Harbaugh.
right, and these coaches are going to be Hall of Fame or are Hall of Fame coaches. So
Of course,
you got to have somebody to come up in there
Yeah.
that literally is going to be a competitive to what the
Well-
talent is in that division right now.
Okay. If you don't get better, that is the team, he will go with but look, you have a good offer. They meet a couple of keeper. The defense. They need help on the defense. Yeah,
Well, they definitely help on the defense. Look at the quarterbacks they're competing against
Yeah.
in their division. Patrick Mahomes, right?
but
So right.
Harper.
Right.
They need our help. That guy, a defense coordinator before with Harper. You Harper, Joe Harper. So I believe he will go to give it